Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm JD Production 03, and today we're going to be talking about the new Battlefront Death Star DLC. Now, I really like this DLC. I think we got everything that we had asked for. We got space battles, we got the inside the Death Star, we got the trench run. I mean, we got pretty much everything. But I mean, there are a few bad things, but mostly good. And today we're going to we're here to talk about all the good and bad things. So let's get started. One of the first amazing things that I love about this DLC is the guns. Now, in a lot of the other DLCs, it was like one gun was pretty good, one gun was bad, and then sometimes all the guns were just bad and then they had to buff them. But these guns, I think that they are both um they're both pretty even, and they're not OP or really bad or anything like that. Now the guns are the TL50 Heavy Repeating Blaster. Now I love this gun. I'm always right here. You can see that I'm trying to get it because I'm using the Heavy Blaster, but I really like this gun. It fires super fast and it kills them really fast, especially in the Death Star. It's just really good at wiping out a large horde of enemies in a quick succession time period, and it's just really good. And I also love how they included the new secondary fire feature. Now, this feature is really good against heroes, vehicles. It can actually one-shot ships, which I think they will nerf it in the future, and like three-shot ATSTs, so that may be nerfed in the future also. But overall, it's just really good. Now, the TL50 has its secondary fire is kind of like a mortar or a grenade, so it arcs in the air. But for the other gun, the pistol, the K16 Briar pistol, it just fires like a normal bullet, so it has very little bullet drop. So when you're shooting, you can just stand in the back of the map and just snipe ATSTs with 2 hits. And if you're getting straight, you can literally one-shot a TIE fighter or a TIE interceptor or an X-Wing or an A-Wing. Now, it's really good. I feel like that's going to be a nerf in the future because that's kind of OP to be able to do that. But right now, it's really good. And I haven't really used it too much yet, so I can't really say if it's really good or really bad, but it's pretty good. I used it on skirmish, and I did pretty well with it, so I think that that's also a good weapon. It's not going to be like super bad or it's not going to be super good, and I do prefer the other heavy rifle better, the TL50. So that's that. And then now we're moving on to the star cards. Now the laser trip mines, it's kind of like a proximity bomb, so if you walk right next to it, it can kill you. I have been killed by one before. But it also jams your radar. So you can put it down and then it'll just jam their radar, and that's really good because then they can't see, and if say they're walking into a huge horde of enemies, they won't be able to tell. So that's a really good perk about that. And then they also added the medical droid, which like heals people around them and recharges their star cards faster. So that's really good. I don't use it, or I don't use the laser trip mine, but they're good. And then next order of business is the heroes. The heroes are so fun. I love Chewie. I love Boss. I can't really pick a favorite. If I had to, though, it would probably be Boss, just because I don't know. To me, he's easier to use because of the micro grenades. You just wipe out a whole room of enemies in 5 seconds with that, which is amazing. I love Chewie too. I love his ground slam and all that. So it's hard to pick favorites. They're both really good, and I don't think one of them is really OP. And I think it's a lot better than the heroes we got in the Bespin, at least when they were released. or at least for Lando, because Lando was really bad, and then Dengar was a beast, so they're completely different. And yeah, they're both really good. So Chewie's abilities are Mighty Roar, Multi Bolt, and last but definitely not least, Ground Slam. Now let's start with Ground Slam. Ground Slam is great if you're caught in a group of enemies and they're all in close proximity to you. You can just wipe them all out in one hit, and it's really fun to use. But unfortunately, when he stands up, he is very vulnerable because it takes him like 2 seconds to pull out his gun. But that ability is really good. And then his Mighty Roar gives all the rebels around him Berserker trait level 3, which is, oh my gosh, it's really good. I got it done to me once, and we were just wrecking the enemy team when we were going for our 2D2. And then the third ability is Multi-Bolt, where he fires more and more bolts the more enemies you kill. And if you're the 4th trait level, with Multi-Bolt you can go like 8 to 10 bolts. It's insane, and you just wreck. And then his trait is called Furious Firing. So the more enemies you kill, the more bolts you get. And that's really good too. So I really like how they're doing all the traits for them. And then on to Boss. Boss's abilities are micro grenades, where his Roby gets turned into little micro grenades that shoot, and then if you hit them head on, it's a one-shot kill for them, which is really good. And then Predatory Instincts, where everything is heat vision, like with the Night Sniper, but a little bit different than with the Night Sniper. And then when it's the heat vision, you get higher damage and faster cooldowns, increased damage, and increased sprinting speed. But unfortunately, you are very vulnerable to flashbangs. But it's a toggleable ability with no cooldown, which is really good. And then his second move is Toxic Escape, where he jumps forward and puts down a really good Dioxis grenade down, and it's really good for if you want to wipe out a room of enemies or block down a control point. You can just do that, and it kills them really fast. So his trait is Trandoshan Regeneration. So whenever you kill an enemy, you actually get a little bit of health back, which is really good. And yeah, that's just really good. It doesn't really need that much explanation. And that's all with the heroes. So next we have the maps. Now, I like the maps. The maps inside, I think they're kind of similar, so it's hard to tell, but I love them, so it doesn't matter to me. And I love how we finally got space battles. I know a lot of people's number one complaint was that there were no space battles in Battlefront. So we finally got them, and some people are complaining, which is a little funny, but finally got space battles, which I really like. So that's good. I like the Star Destroyer map. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not I'm not a huge fan of Fighter Squadron, so I'm not gonna love those maps, but the Trench Run map is also pretty good. So the inside maps, they are very indoor, and well, of course they're indoor. It's in the Death Star, but they're very tight, and it's very close quarters. So you can't just go in there with a sniper rifle and expect to get killed. You're just gonna die very quickly. And then that's all with the maps. And then they added Red 5 and the Vader's TIE Advanced, which are really good. I got to play as Red 5. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go into the Trench Run, but I did get to play as Red 5, and I just want to say it's better than the normal X-Wing. You get more damage and stuff, and you R2D2 can heal you, so that's really good. And the Vader's TIE Advanced I have not played as yet, but you get shields and the concussion missiles and stuff like that. And then yeah, and then there are some bad things though. I think there are too much space battles, just in my opinion. I mean, I'm not like gonna. I know some people love flying, but I'm not one people. But I mean, I think that so many people are asking for it that we kind of got it, but what we wanted. But I think they should kind of take Fighter Squadron out because that's a little repetitive if you just finished playing and then you play Fighter Squadron too. So it's a little repetitive at points, but I mean, and they should also add more game modes inside because there's only Blast. And I know Dennis did tweet out that they are going to add Droid Run, which is great. And I think that's going to be amazing. And I hope they add even more. So, like cargo and game modes like that, like smaller game modes, but not like so small. And they can also, what they can do to make the time more inside is make it so Blast is up to like 200 just to add a little bit of time so people are like playing a lot more inside and some less outside. So those are all the things I have to say for bad, and I think that kind of wraps up this video. So make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, bye.